Jesus, oh my God. I literally just woke up. 2 hours ago, Giannis Antetokounmpo was traded to the Miami Heat for Tyler Hero, Kalel Ware, Jacko, I can't pronounce his name, Jaime Hackers Jr., 3 picks, a second round pick, and some pick swaps. Now, for me, that's not enough. Personally, starting it out, sorry, I did make a video about why I was gone so long. You can see new surrounding, new spot, new place, new country, but that's beside the point. First video I got to put out is this video. I didn't make a video about Jalen Brunson, haven't put that out, haven't even started editing that, to be honest. But we're going to talk about Giannis Antetokounmpo and his trade to the Miami Heat. First and foremost, the thing I have the biggest problem with is the construction of the Miami Heat. Now, Pat Riley has been waiting to do a big trade like this for a long time. And you can't say he hasn't had opportunities. He's definitely had opportunities. He's definitely had the assets for a while. And obviously, he made the most of his assets. If we're talking about value, he has got the biggest value he could have got from those group of assets. I mean, Jaime Hackers Jr., great player. We all know Jaime Hackers Jr. is a Sixth Man of the Year candidate and will be for the foreseeable future if he's coming off the bench at least. Tyler Hero, former All-Star, struggled with injuries a lot last season, but we know what he can do. But Giannis Antetokounmpo is a top 4 player in this league. A top 4 player in this league. And we've seen bigger pick deals. We've seen bigger trades. We've seen a lot more in return for smaller stars. That's the issue I have with this in particular. We saw players like Mikal Bridges. We saw players like Jaren Jackson Jr. accumulate so many more picks. OG Anunoby be a result of so many picks. Such big trades. Karl Anthony Towns, such big trades we've seen with bigger stars accumulatively in terms of who's better and the resulting package being more picks. So my biggest problem is you could have got Jaylen Brown. I'm not sure what the Celtics were offering, but you could have got Jaylen Brown in Milwaukee. And Jaylen Brown makes you a playoff team. Tyler Hero leaves you in the not in playoff contention. And the way the new rules work when it comes down to tanking, I don't know what you're going to do. So the roster construction is the main issue I have with this because you got Bam Adebayo, one of the best defenders, non-shooter. You're adding in Giannis Antetokounmpo, one of the best defenders, inside paint, demands the ball, non-shooter. You're not going to be playing big on big action with Giannis and what's his name, and Bam Adebayo. Why Brook Lopez worked so well is because Brook Lopez is a shooter, and when Giannis has the ball in his hands, he creates through his gravity. His gravity has so much gravity because he's such a dominant force in the NBA. So when he has the ball and he decides to dish it out, he expects a shot to result from that. He doesn't want to create somebody else's shot, if that makes sense, unless it's a catch and shoot, which is what Brook Lopez was so good at in his prime. But that's not happening for Bam Adebayo. Bam Adebayo is not a catch and shoot player, and they've got rid of the two, aside from Bam Adebayo, 2 best players in Miami. I guess you could talk about Norm Powell, but Norm Powell really isn't going to kick on. He's reaching that point where you can see he's reached his ceiling. Norm Powell is a player that he creates through for himself off of his own dribble, and that isn't necessarily what Giannis needs. We even saw before when Giannis played with Dame, sometimes it didn't necessarily work because Dame needs the ball, Giannis needs the ball. When you've got players that can play off each other and play like Tyler Hero worked with Bam Adebayo. Norm Powell could work with Bam Adebayo, but even so, Norm Powell isn't the greatest creator of shots for his teammates. He's more of a scorer himself. So I don't understand what you do now when you have Giannis Antetokounmpo at the 4 and Bam Adebayo at the 5. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And like I said previously, for the Bucks, I don't know what you want to do. Have the worst roster in the NBA? I don't know. Every other team that's going to be a lottery team is a team that has a better superstar currently at this moment in time. I mean, even if you're looking at the Memphis Grizzlies, they still have Ja Morant on their roster. You look at all the other lottery teams out there, they still have a good enough player, and your star right now is Tyler Hero. I mean, even if you look at the Chicago Bulls can play good in stretches because they have decent pieces enough. Josh Giddey and such, they have decent enough players that can do something on in isolation, put it that way. Whereas Tyler Hero has struggled a lot with injuries. Jaime Jaquez Jr. has never played great as a starter, and so I don't know what. Kurt Ware's an okay player. He's just cool. He's gonna have a couple years in this league. He's not gonna be a great player. So I don't know where you are going with this. And the young boy, name begins with a J. I'm not gonna try to pronounce his name. He's just cool. He's not showing flashes of brilliance. So blockbuster trade, but doesn't make any sense to me. Pat Riley's done a finesse, but you're gonna need a point guard now, Pat Riley. You're gonna need a point guard badly, and I don't know where you're gonna get it from. Maybe he goes out for Ja Morant, but he hasn't got any assets left. So how do you go out and get Ja Morant? So free agency, are there any point guards out there in free agency? Maybe he should have got Tyler Hero, but he wouldn't have had the cap space to get Tyler Hero. So I don't know what the bigger move is behind this for the Miami Heat. I don't know what the Bucks intend to do in the next 5 or so years, but big trade. Nah, I gotta work, man. In a bit.